Once upon a time, in a forest that was a very dense, that was a priest prayed to God every single day. One fine day, an angel entered the forest. The angel looked at the priest and said this:
I am so impressed by your devotion. Please tell me what you want. I shall grant them to you immediately.
After listening to what the angel said, the priest thought to himself for a while, and he said this:
What would a simple and humble priest like myself, who lives in a forest, need? I used to pray to you every single day, but not for something that I want. I do not need any worldly gifts for this. Thank you very much.
I am so amazed by your devotion and your selfless nature. You have been praying all this while, for with no intentions of anything. Even though you do not want anything right now, you might need something one day. For that, I shall give you this fruit. Keep this fruit safe to you, as it might come in handy when you might actually want something.
The angel gives a fruit to the priest, and she said this to him:
Keep this fruit. Remember this, priest. If you ever need anything, keep this fruit and say a prayer, and you shall immediately get it. But always remember, do not become greedy and start making money by selling this fruit or the things you buy from it, as it might lead to a lot of danger if you give it to somebody else. In case the other person sells it, it might bring a lot of harm to him and his life. You should consider using it for others, so be careful to handle it.
Oh God, I do not have any wishes for me right now, and I do not need this fruit for myself.
I understand that you are a very selfless man, but you have to understand, in order to achieve eternal salvation, you need not to live only for yourself, you need to live for others. If you might not use this for yourself, you should consider using it for others. That will achieve your final stage as fulfillment in your priesthood. So, you should get this fruit from me.
Okay, God. I have come to understand that this is a test to prove how selfless I am. As you wish, I shall take this fruit and I shall use it to help others in need instead of using it for myself.
Good decision, priest. Very soon you shall be able to find salvation through your activities.
The angel says that she immediately flies away. The priest knows he had nothing to ask for, so he taken the fruit and he goes and visit the king of the town nearby. The priest looked at the king and said this:
My king, I got this fruit by my dedication and devotion. I am here to give you this fruit. If this fruit is bought at a price which is fair, you would be able to get anything you want in the world using this fruit. But you should throw away this fruit and sell it to someone else as soon as your wish has been fulfilled. So kindly please let me know how much you are willing to pay for this particular fruit.
After listening to what the priest said, the king becomes really happy and he says this:
For all these years, I have had one wish which I was never able to fulfill. No matter how many temples I went to and no matter how many places I have been to. But by God's grace, the angel came and met you, and now I finally have a solution.
That is amazing, my king. What is your unfulfilled desire that you have had for all these years?
For all these years, I have been feuding with the neighboring kingdom for a long time. Because of him and I, several people in my kingdom are suffering, and people in his kingdom are also suffering as well. If I could use the angel's power to end this war and win the war, I would be able to give justice to everybody that has been wronged, and I would finally be able to achieve peace.
I respect your noble intentions of saving people's lives. There is not an ounce of selfishness in your wish. I have come to the decision to grant you this fruit here. You shall take it, my king.
The priest immediately gave the fruit to the king, and the king gave the priest 1 lakh worth of coins. The priest looked at the king and said this:
My king, I want you to remember one thing as soon as your wish has been fulfilled. You would need to sell this to another person at a smaller rate than you bought it. And you also have to let him know this exact rule. Hope you will understand this, king.
The priest took the money that the king gave him. He immediately distributed to the poor people of that kingdom. The king also achieved his goal of winning the war in a few weeks. And he went to him chamber and let everybody know that the fruit was the reason how he won. The king looked at the people and said this:
The reason for my victory is this fruit. And in one day, I have to discard the fruit. I do not need this fruit anymore. If anybody in this chamber requires this fruit, please let me know, so that you can buy this fruit from me.
After listening to what the king said, one of the men in the chambers named Suresh, who was a very wealthy man in that kingdom, came to the king. He said this:
My king, I have been suffering with a very terrible illness. If you can give me this fruit, I would be very indebted to you as you have saved my life.
Fine, then I shall give you this fruit to you, since I have to sell this in a lesser rate than I bought it. Instead of 1 lakh worth of coins, you can purchase this for 90,000 worth of coins. But remember, as soon as your wish has been fulfilled, you are going to have this to sell this to another person for the cheaper rate than you have purchased yourself. Otherwise, you will end up in trouble.
Fine, my king. I am willing to give you the money that you need for this.
Suresh takes the fruit and he goes back home. And he is able to cure his illness within a week. But unlike what the king did, Suresh is not willing to give this fruit to another person. Suresh thought to himself,
Why should I give this fruit to another person? Why can't I use this for my needs and my wishes? The king is stupid to give this to me. I don't want to sell this to another person. I want to keep this to myself.
After Suresh decided to not sell the fruit, a week passed by and Suresh started vomiting blood. When the doctor came to visit Suresh in his bed, the doctor said this:
I'm not sure what disease you have right now, but I am afraid I won't be able to save you, and you seem like you might die anytime soon.
After hearing what the doctor said, Suresh immediately thinks about what he had done.
I did not listen to the king and now I am suffering. If I had sold this to another person before, I wouldn't be facing this life-threatening situation. I should immediately sell this fruit as soon as possible.
Immediately, Suresh gets out of his house and sells the fruit in a cheaper price to another person. A week later, Suresh's health regains and the whole village gets to know about this. Soon, one by one, the fruit gets passed down to each and every person in that village, and they all started granting the wishes to themselves. Everybody had a different wish. Somebody's business kept booming, somebody's health recovered, and sometimes it was about their own personal lives. At the time, there was a woman named Lakshmi who had a husband who just got ill. Lakshmi looked at her husband and she said this:
I'm so sad that you're going through this, but you have to remember, last time when I got sick, you were able to get that fruit and heal my disease. You have to find a way to get that fruit back so you can cure yourself. Is there any way we can get that fruit back?
Yes, Lakshmi. Last time I remember, I had purchased that fruit for 500. I don't know where it is right now. I need to be able to find it as soon as possible.
Do not worry. All we need to do is find the man you sold it to and find who he had sold it to. In that way, we would be able to track exactly who has the fruit right now. I send our servant Sangaya to find that.
Lakshmi immediately sent Sangaya to find where the fruit is. Sangaya was able to find out where the fruit is and he come back and he tell this to Lakshmi.
Sir, I have found out where the fruit is. There is a man out there that is willing to sell us this fruit for rupees 2 exactly.
But if we purchase this fruit right now, we will sell it for a cheaper price, which is 1 rupee. But after that, he won't be able to sell it for a lesser price. This will cost some lot of harm and damage. I don't want to endanger another man's life for my own selfish needs. I would rather die and live my God's fate than try and hurt another man's life.
After listening to what her husband said, Lakshmi takes Sangaya away and she say this to him.
He might talk like that, but please go and get that fruit, because if you do not get that fruit, he might die soon. Once we get that fruit, we will try to figure out what to do with it. I will pay for that fruit, so you go and get that fruit soon. After he ate that fruit, hope he will recover soon.
Fine, madam. I shall go and bring it immediately.
The servant goes in, purchases the fruit from somebody, and his wife immediately wishes that his illness goes away. Surya and realized that his illness left him, but he does not know that is because of the fruit. He thinks that the illness left him because of the medicine he took. At the moment, his wife thought to herself,
Finally, I was able to save my husband's life. But now I have to find a way to sell this fruit. If I don't sell this fruit, my husband's life would be at stake again. But how am I going to sell the fruit, and how will they be able to sell it after I sold it to them?
Lakshmi decides that she does not want to sell the fruit anymore, and she makes a decision to fight back against any curse or illness that might occur to her. But one fine day, she falls ill and she becomes bedridden from the illness that she had contracted. At the time, the servant visits Lakshmi and say this.
What happened, madam? You look very ill. Is your health at stake? May I know, please, what is exactly happening to you?
Don't you know about the cruise of the fruit? I thought that I would be able to withstand any turbulence that would happen in my life. But since I've kept the fruit, my health has gone completely. I might die very soon.
After listening to what Lakshmi said, the servant all of a sudden gets an idea. He looks at her and he says this.
Why are you worrying so much? Please don't think like that. I guarantee you that you will not die.
You don't seem to understand what I'm going through. If I sell this to somebody, they won't be able to sell it again because they would only have lesser than 1 rupee to sell it for. I do not want to cause any pain or suffering to anyone. If I'm not able to watch someone suffer in front of me, I wouldn't be able to do that. This is the reason why I think I will die soon.
After listening to what Lakshmi said, the servant laughed and he said this.
Madam, I promise you that you will not die. Just sell that fruit to me for ₹1, and after that, I shall take care of the rest.
But how will you be able to sell it after that? Please do not suffer for me. I won't be able to bear it. Do not do that.
No, madam. You'd have to understand that if you give me this fruit, I will not wish for anything. It is only if you wish for something, you have to discard it after 1 week. But if you give me that fruit, I will keep it in a box and I will not watch for anything forever. It will be safe with me and nothing will happen to me. So don't worry, madam.
After listening to what the servant said, Lakshmi looks at him and says this.
I did not think there could be a solution for a situation like this. This means that it is the person who does not wish for anything that ultimately deserves the fruit. I think this was the purpose of that fruit. Really, your idea is very good.
Yes, madam. I know that as well. Desire is like a horse. It keeps running until you tell it to stop. A person without any desires is the ultimate winner in life, as he does not have anywhere to run and he does not have anywhere to move. He is confident and secure where he belongs. This is the real truth.
You are right. Give me 1 rupee and I shall sell this fruit to you immediately. You take this fruit and keep it safe in your house and you shall get rid of my pain and suffering.
The servant immediately purchased the fruit and he takes it and kept it in his house. He puts it in a teeny briefcase and he buries it under the ground. After that, nobody knew what happened to that fruit and it became a myth and a legend in that entire town. If you like the story, do like it, share it. For more new stories, please subscribe our New Stories Book English YouTube channel.